WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. Welcome back to the Collaborative Café Summer 2025 edition, a podcast series to help college and university instructors cultivate key 21st century skills in their students, regardless of course focus or modality. Hello again. My name is Stokes Schwartz, and I'm a professor in the Center for Integrative Studies in the Arts and Humanities here at Michigan State University. Have you ever assigned a collaborative project in your history, linguistics, or art history course, only to find team members struggling to move beyond simple task division to more nuanced collaboration? It's a common challenge. We want our students to deeply engage with complex texts, analyze historical events from multiple perspectives, and grapple with philosophical dilemmas. But facilitating that within learning teams can feel like herding cats. If you've ever experienced or observed that disconnect, then you're in the right place. Today, we'll explore how to leverage free digital and cloud-based tools to transform those learning teams in your humanities courses into more dynamic hubs of critical thinking, effective collaboration, and multimodal knowledge creation. Stick with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll have concrete, actionable strategies to empower your students not only to collaborate more effectively, but also to produce truly innovative shared insights. Thanks for joining me, everyone. A fundamental hurdle in collaborative work is ensuring that all team members are on the same page with foundational texts and tasks. Students often read individually. When they read, form interpretations, then struggle to synthesize different viewpoints into a coherent team analysis, leading to fragmented discussions and underdeveloped collective understanding. But tools like Perusall, or even Google Docs commenting features, can revolutionize how students engage with primary and secondary sources. Imagine permanent learning teams, for example, in a cultural studies course, who have been tasked with analyzing a complex theoretical essay. Instead of isolated reading, you can assign the text in Perusall. Students can then collectively annotate the document, highlight key passages, ask each other clarifying questions, debate interpretations, and respond to each other's comments. The process isn't simply about marking up a text, however. It's about actively constructing shared meaning. When a passage sparks a question, students pose it directly, and their teammates can then jump in with insights or even counter-arguments. That visible, traceable dialogue transforms individual reading into collaborative inquiry. It forces critical thinking as learning team members articulate and defend their interpretations. Moreover, the activity cultivates effective collaboration by making thought processes transparent and allowing for iterative refinement of understanding. The low-stakes approach is incredibly easy to set up and integrates seamlessly into existing reading assignments. Best of all, instructors can quickly identify areas of student confusion to guide their own next steps. The method aligns well with the pedagogical theory of social constructivism, which posits that learning is, at heart, a social process where knowledge is built through active interaction. Here, the digital space scaffolds this social construction of meaning. But what happens when that individual understanding needs to move beyond individual annotations to a shared, evolving project? Well, we'll tackle that next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Once learning teams have grappled with foundational material, the next challenge is to effectively brainstorm, organize, and synthesize ideas into a cohesive whole. Traditional methods, like passing around a single pen and a notepad, often fall short, limiting individual contribution and hindering the flow of ideas. That's where free digital whiteboard tools like Jamboard, part of the Google Suite, or Miro become invaluable. Imagine your students in a classical studies course, for example, analyzing the historical and ongoing impact of ancient Greek philosophy. Rather than struggle with a single linear document, instead they open a shared Jamboard. Each team member then contributes his or her ideas simultaneously using sticky notes, images, drawings, and text boxes. They can cluster related concepts, draw connections between visual elements, and collaboratively create a visual hierarchy for their arguments. The activity allows for divergent thinking, capturing all ideas regardless of how formed, air quotes, formed they are. Then, the collaborative process of grouping and structuring ideas forces convergent thinking and strengthens problem-solving skills. Members negotiate meaning, identify recurring themes, and collectively decide on the most compelling narrative or argument. The visual nature of these tools also caters to diverse learning styles and encourages multimodal expression. Team members can even integrate external links or embed images directly onto the board, a dynamic, interactive space. Collaboration is a constant, visible activity. Critical thinking is refined through organizing complex information, and knowledge is constructed by the entire learning team. Okay, so your teams have understood the material and brainstormed member ideas. But how do we ensure that those become polished, persuasive, and truly collaborative, especially when the finished product is not a traditional essay? Keep listening to find out. As a reminder, we're looking today at how you can leverage technology to enhance student learning team collaboration among the students populating your college and university classrooms. Let's hop back into that discussion right now. Our final and perhaps most exciting tip tackles the culmination of collaborative effort between students, namely, producing a compelling final project. While the independent development of traditional thesis-based essays is a vital skill to cultivate, imagine the depth of understanding and the cultivation of diverse 21st century skills that emerge when students move beyond purely textual output to create multimodal projects. The challenge, of course, is coordinating diverse media and ensuring integrated collaboration between the members of a learning team. That's where platforms designed for collaborative content creation, such as the free version of Canva or Google Sites, shine. Consider a permanent learning team, for example, in a communication studies class tasked with critically analyzing modern rhetoric. They might use Canva to design an interactive digital poster, a series of infographics, or even a short explanatory video. Team members collaboratively select images, write concise analytical text, design visual layouts, and integrate audio clips or short video segments directly into their project. The genuine integration of critical thinking, creativity, and advanced collaborative problem solving is where the magic happens. Students suddenly aren't just dividing tasks, they're collectively deciding how to visually and auditorily represent complex analytical arguments. They make rhetorical choices about color, font, image selection, and narrative flow to communicate their insights persuasively. The collaborative process fosters conflict resolution as learning team members negotiate aesthetic choices and differing opinions on how best to convey their message. With Google Sites, for example, a team could build a mini website showcasing its research, embedding analyses, primary source materials, and even short podcasts that they've collaboratively recorded using free audio tools like Buzzsprout or Podbean. The creation of multimodal team projects pushes students beyond simply summarizing and recounting information to actively constructing and presenting knowledge in more compelling, accessible ways. The activity also empowers them to become digital storytellers, not just essay writers. The digital tools mentioned today are intuitive, accessible, and require minimal prior training, allowing the focus to remain firmly on the intellectual work, creating a dynamic environment for social learning, and the construction of shared understanding. WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. If you find this podcast helpful, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap today's discussion. To begin with, asynchronous annotation with tools like Perusall can build a shared foundation of understanding between the members of a learning team. Digital whiteboards such as Jamboard empower dynamic brainstorming and idea structuring. Most important, integrated platforms like Canva or Google Sites enable truly collaborative, multimodal storytelling by a learning team. But keep in mind that the overall goal is not the technology itself. Rather, it's to leverage technology in a strategic way that deepens intellectual engagement and empowers students to take ownership of their learning. With these free, readily available digital tools, you're not just augmenting your teaching. Rather, you're cultivating critical thinkers, effective collaborators, and innovative problem solvers in your humanities classrooms. And on that note, we reach the end of today's program. Join me next time when we'll continue our exploration of how to help students cultivate key 21st century skills, regardless of course focus or modality. Until then, thank you for joining me in the Collaborative Café Summer 2025 edition. My name is Stokes Schwartz, and I'll talk to you again soon. In the meantime, have a healthy, safe, and productive week. With special regards from Onyx, the cat what am. Bye for now. just heard a podcast from WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.